Want to speak real Thai from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ThaiPod101.com.
Hi everybody, Jess here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I use krap and ka? You might have heard these terms when you first learned how to say hello in Thai. สวัสดีค่ะ and สวัสดีครับ But what are the differences between krap and ka? In the example I gave, the two forms have the same meaning but use different endings. Today, you'll know how to use them correctly. To start, let me explain the basic meaning of these two words. Krap and ka are particles commonly used among Thai people in order to make the sentences more polite and formal. This includes when you talk to the elderly, to someone you respect, or to someone you don't know very well. Using krap and ka convey the message in a softer and more polite manner. So how do I use them? Well, the basic rules of these two particles are very simple and easy to understand. These two particles are gender specific, male and female. This means if you are male, you end your sentences with krap. If you are female, you end your sentences with ka. Simple and easy, right? Now the main question, in what types of sentences do I use them? The answer is, you can use these particles in most sentences in Thai. For example, you can use it to ask for requests such as ห้องน้ำอยู่ไหนคะ Where is the toilet? For female, or ห้องน้ำอยู่ไหนครับ for male. You can use it when answering questions such as อยู่ตรงนี้ครับ It is over here. In this case, the person who answered the question is male. If the responder is female, she'll reply อยู่ตรงนี้ค่ะ It's over here. We can see that despite different endings, the meaning of the sentences stay the same. Also, you can use krap and ka to mean yes when you answer yes or no questions. For example, somebody asks you ใช่คุณดีหรือเปล่าคะ Is this D? The full sentence would be ใช่ค่ะ Yes, this is D. But you can say only ka or krap and the person will know you mean yes. This only works when you want to say yes. If you want to give a negative response, you simply have to add ไม่ใช่ค่ะ or ไม่ใช่ครับ Both mean no, it's not. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how many ways can you say I in Thai? In Thai, we have many different ways to refer yourself. In fact, we have almost 10 synonyms for the word I alone. Today, I'm going to teach you some of the most useful ways of saying I and some that you'll encounter in everyday life. First, we have to understand the most basic and common way of saying I, which can be used in just about every situation. This is ฉัน For example, ฉันทำงานในเมือง I work in the city. However, there are several other ways which are suitable for specific situations such as gender-specific forms, situations when you are with friends and formal situations. Some of the words you can use when you are with friends are เรา เขา and กู The most informal of these is กู This is usually used with close friends. For example, กูมีสอบวันนี้ I have exams today. Or เรามีสอบวันนี้ Or เขามีสอบวันนี้ เรา and เขา are usually used when you are not that close to that friend yet, or when you want to sound more polite when talking with friends. Moving on to formal words for I. There are ผม กระผม ดิฉัน ข้าพเจ้า First, I'll talk about the gender-specific forms of I. It's very easy to understand. If you are a male, you address yourself as ผม or กระผม If you are a female, you address yourself as ดิฉัน These are often used in very formal situations such as giving a formal speech or talking to your boss. For example, in a job interview, you want to say, I have a bachelor's degree. As a woman, you can say, ดิฉันจบปริญญาตรีค่ะ If you are a man, you can use ผมจบปริญญาตรีครับ As for ข้าพเจ้า it's used most of the time in official announcements from the government or the royal family. The degree of formality has to be really high. For example, ข้าพเจ้าขอมอบหมายให้ทำสิ่งนี้ I assign you to do this. The Prime Minister would likely say this sentence to his staff or to the public. If you are unsure of which one you should use, stick with ฉัน as it's the safest one that can be used both formally and informally. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how many ways can you say you in Thai? Just like the word I, we have many words to say you in Thai. Today, we are going to learn about the different words that you might encounter in Thai conversations and expand your vocabulary when addressing the person you are talking to. The first word you probably learn when addressing the person you are talking to is คุณ It's the most general word as it can be used both formally and informally. For example, the sentence คุณทำอะไรอยู่ What are you doing? Can be said from an employee to his client. You can make it more formal by adding ครับ or ค่ะ at the end of the sentence. คุณ can also be used in front of names to add a degree of politeness to the sentence. For example, คุณสมชาย Mr. สมชาย When with friends or someone you are close with, we usually use เธอ แก เอง or มึง The degree of formality in these four words are ranked respectively, with เธอ being the most polite. มึง is usually used with กู another word for I in Thai that we discussed in a previous lesson. For example, มึงจะไปไหน or เธอจะไปไหน Where are you going? The sentences have the same meaning but different connotations. แก and เอง are still informal, but they should be used with friends. หรือ is commonly used by Thai Chinese people in Thailand. ท่าน is a very formal word to say you. It's commonly used when you're talking to someone you respect or who's of a higher status. For example, สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์ Hello professor. Just like คุณ it can be used at the front of someone's name to add a sense of politeness as well. For example, ท่านนายกเป็นคนตลก The Prime Minister is a funny person. When using มึง be sure to use it with close friends or someone you know really well, as the word can be offensive when used with strangers. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some basic question words in Thai? Learning to ask questions in Thai can be very beneficial for you. It will help you build up your language ability and can help in your everyday life in Thailand. Today, I'll teach you some very useful words for asking questions in Thai. Just like English language, in Thai, we have different words for who, what, where, when, why, and how. If you are familiar with the English form, it will be very easy to learn this in Thai. There's only one minor difference in usage. These question words in Thai are อะไร what เมื่อไหร่ when ที่ไหน where ทำไม why ใคร who แบบไหน how อย่างไร how and finally บ่อยแค่ไหน how often Grammatically, when asking questions in Thai, we put most of these words at the end of the sentence. There are two exception words. We put อะไร and ทำไม at the beginning of the sentence. For example, ทำไมเธอถึงวิ่งตอนเช้า Why do you jog in the morning? เธอไปกับใคร Who are you going with? We can see that in the first sentence, ทำไมis used at the beginning of the sentence to ask question. However, in the second sentence, เธอไปกับใคร ใคร is used at the end to ask who. If we cut out the word ใคร in this sentence, we'll get เธอไปกับ she goes with. This can be changed to a general sentence just by adding a name or noun at the end. For example, เธอไปกับสมคิด She goes with สมคิด Thus, by adding ใคร who ที่ไหน where or เมื่อไหร่ when we'll change the sentence to a question. For example, มึงกินข้าวที่ไหน Where are you eating? คุณจะไปเมื่อไหร่ When are you leaving? Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read Thai numbers? When you go to tourist attractions or read cultural printed media in Thailand, you might come across these weird letters that maybe you've never seen before. In fact, these are Thai numerals, and today I'm going to teach you how to read them. These numerals are derived from the Khmer numerals, which traditionally were used in Thailand. The only common numeral with the standard number system is 0, 0. The rest are different. Here are the numbers 0 through 9 in Thai numerals. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. The usage of these numerals are the same as the standard numbers. For example, 79 is written as 79 in Thai numerals. Nowadays, Thai numbers are usually used in historical attractions in Thailand to state the price of tickets or when the situation is extremely formal, such as official announcements from the royal family. Thai numerals are considered sophisticated and traditional. They are also used when there's the need to emphasize the cultural importance of an event or object. For example, when addressing the previous kings of Thailand, like Rama IX. In Thai, we write รัชกาลที่ 9. This is similar to usage of Roman numerals. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what are the different dialects of Thai? Just like other languages, Thai has different dialects. Thai dialects categorized according to the different parts of Thailand. These are North, South, Northeast, and Central. Each dialect has influences from neighboring countries. Today, I'll teach you some basic knowledge of these dialects. The most common language used in Thailand is Standard Thai or ภาษากลาง. It's most commonly used in the central part of Thailand. mainly Bangkok metropolitan region. It's also one that beginners of Thai learn as is the most standard. Let's see 2 example sentences in standard Thai, which I'll compare with other dialects. อาหารอร่อยไหม Is the food delicious? The response to the question is อาหารอร่อยมาก The food is very delicious. Let's see now the Northern Thai or ภาษาเหนือ This dialect is derived from the independent kingdom Lan Na and is mostly spoken in the north of Thailand. Its derivation from Lan Na caused the dialect to have a soft and pleasant sound. The vocab are slightly changed as well. With the same sentence in Northern Thai is now กึ่นข้าวลำก่อ Is the food delicious? And in response อาหารลำขนาด The food is very delicious in Northern Thai. Northeastern Thai dialect or ภาษาอีสาน is derived from Laos. So there are some similarities in this dialect to Laos. For example, อาหารแซ่บบ่ means is the food delicious? In Northeastern Thai, to respond in this dialect, you reply อาหารแซ่บหลาย This means the food is very delicious. And lastly, Southern Thai or in Thai, ภาษาปักใต้ Southern Thai has influences from Malay. The dialect, just like every dialect, is slightly different from Standard Thai in terms of words. For example, อาหารร่อยไหม Is the food delicious? The response would be ร่อยจังหู The food is very delicious. So, let's recap. Standard Thai อาหารอร่อยไหม Is the food delicious? อาหารอร่อยมาก The food is very delicious. Northern Thai กึ่นข้าวลำก่อ Is the food delicious? ลำขนาด The food is very delicious. This sentence is completely different from the other dialects. This is because instead of using อาหาร to mean food, Northern Thai uses ข้าว to mean food. Since rice is always consumed when Thais eat, it's considered food in general. Northeastern อาหารแซ่บบ่ Is the food delicious? อาหารแซ่บหลาย The food is very delicious. Southern Thai อาหารร่อยไหม Is the food delicious? ร่อยจังหู The food is very delicious. Keep in mind that Standard Thai or ภาษากลาง is the language that we teach at thaipod101.com and the language that Thai people learn at school. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I tell time in Thai? Telling time in Thai is slightly different compared to the global way of telling time. This may be a confusing topic for beginners, but it gets easier once you understand the basic concepts and with practice. Unless it's official announcements, such as at the train station or on the news, Thai people have their own system of telling time. This system of telling time is used among locals and is used informally. Today, I'm going to teach you how to tell time like the locals. The formal way of telling time in Thai is to add the word นาฬิกา meaning o'clock at the end of the hours. For example, เวลา 18 นาฬิกา means the time is 18 o'clock. This formal way can be found in TV or radio announcements and informal letters. Now, let's talk about the informal time-telling system. In Thai, instead of dividing the day into two 12-hour chunks, for example, 12 p.m. and 12 a.m., we divide it in 4 parts of 6 hours each. These are morning 6 a.m. until 11 a.m., afternoon 1 to 6 p.m., evening 7 to 11 p.m., and night 12 to 5 a.m. First, in the morning, between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m., we put the word โมง followed by เช้า or morning. So, for example, 7 โมงเช้า means 7 a.m. The word เช้า is optional. You can just say 7 โมง as well. Now, in the afternoon, between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., we put the word บ่าย or afternoon before the hour, followed by โมง. For example, บ่าย 3 โมง means 3 p.m. Between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Similar to the afternoon, you can choose to put เย็น at the end. This will be บ่าย 4 โมงเย็น 4 p.m. Again, เย็น is optional. If you say บ่าย 4 โมง or 4 p.m. by itself, people will still understand you mean 4 p.m. In the evening, between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m., we use the word ทุ่ม and we restart the clock to 1 again. So, for 7 p.m. it's 1 ทุ่ม 9 p.m. is 3 ทุ่ม and so on. Lastly, for night time between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., we use the word ตี before the hour. For example, ตี 1 is 1 a.m. and ตี 5 means 5 a.m. As you may have noticed, we use โมง for all the hours between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. except for 12 p.m. Using เช้า or เย็น gives additional information telling us whether it's morning or afternoon. For example, 10 โมงเช้า 10 a.m. 6 โมงเย็น 6 p.m. If the time is either 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., we say เที่ยงวัน and เที่ยงคืน One means day and คืน means night. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read the middle tone of Thai? Thai is a lexical tone language. This means that knowing how to read and say each tone correctly will be useful as different tones can completely change the word's meaning. For example, ไม่ no and ไม้ wood sound quite similar but have very different meaning. We'll explore all of the tones in upcoming lessons, but today we'll learn the most basic tone. This is the middle tone. The transliteration of the middle tone contains no marks. The middle tone is the simplest one to read and say. In Thai, we call it เสียงสามัญ Just like the name, the best way to tackle this tone is to speak in your normal vocal range. You don't need to put stress on any pitch when saying words in this tone. Basically, words in this tone are said in a constant pitch. For example, let's consider our example at the very beginning of this lesson. If it's in middle tone, it will be ไม่ like microphone. Another example is ไปกินกัน let's go eat. You can see that in this sentence, all of the words are in middle tone. There are no tone remarks on any of these words. When you say the phrase, there's no stress on any pitch. Here are some other examples. ในนามีอีกา The farm has crows. มานีไปโรงเรียน Mani goes to school. All of these are in constant pitch. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read the low tone or เสียงเอก of Thai? The low tone of Thai is the second out of 5 tones of Thai. For ease of learning, we usually learn this after we know a bit about middle tone. Unlike middle tone, low tone has some changes in the pitch when spoken. In this lesson, I'll give you some tricks on how to tackle this tone and say it correctly. In low tone, the Thai tone remark is usually my egg. In transliteration, this mark is used. This tone is a bit more complex than the middle tone. In order to say this tone correctly, you need to lower the normal pitch of your voice. One similarity of this tone to the middle tone is the voice is constant, but for low tone, you add a slight falling low pitch. I'll give you an example so you can practice. My. You can hear that my voice goes in a lower pitch when pronouncing the word. Now, let's hear an example sentence. กินไข่ I eat eggs. The first word of this sentence, กิน or eat, is in middle tone, but the last word, ไข่ or eggs, is in low tone. You can hear that my pitch went slightly lower at the end of this sentence. Here's another example, so you can get a clearer picture of this tone. ไก่และเต่าอยู่ในป่า Chickens and turtles are in the forest. Now, in this sentence, the word และ is spoken in a high tone and ใน has a middle tone. The rest of the words in the sentence are spoken in a low tone. To perfect this tone, make sure you keep your pitch as low as possible. Tones are pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read falling tone or เสียงโท of Thai? The third tone of Thai language is called เสียงโท In English, we describe it as a falling tone. Falling tone is one of the trickiest tones in Thai, as the sound contains both high and low pitches. Let's see how to say this tone correctly. The falling tone or เสียงโท is usually shown by the Thai remark. Its transliteration is this mark. Just like the transliteration remark, this tone first goes up and then down. After all, it is the falling tone. We need to go up first in order to be able to fall. To say this tone, focus on pitching your voice to go slightly up first and then to fall down at the end of the syllable. Here's an example. ป้า aunt. You can hear from my voice that my pitch went up and then down very slightly. Let's hear it once more. ป้า Now, to show you the difference of this tone compared to other tones, I'll use a phrase similar to one from a previous lesson. It's ป้ากินไข่ต้ม My aunt eats boiled eggs. The first and the last word of this sentence are in falling tone. Notice the difference of pitches when I say ต้ม compared to กินไข่ My pitch goes up and slightly down by the time I finish saying the word. Let's look at some more examples. ข้าจัดเสื้อผ้าในตู้ I organize some clothes in the closet. Every word on this sentence is in falling tone, except จัด which is in low tone, and ใน which is in middle tone. Here's a tip. This tone is similar to when you are emphasizing something in English. For example, you want to tell someone you'd love to go somewhere with them, so you say, I would love to go with you. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read high tone or เสียงตรี of Thai? The high tone is the fourth tone of Thai. In Thai, we call it เสียงตรี This tone is quite easy as there's nothing too complicated about the pitch itself. Now, Let's begin on how to tackle this tone and say this tone in perfect pitch. High tone usually uses my three remark to indicate the tone. In transliteration, this mark is used. High tone is the opposite of low tone. To perfect the high tone, focus on the pitch of your voice. In this tone, your pitch needs to be high. Stressing your syllable when speaking is also ideal in this tone. For example, take the word pa or dad. You can hear that my pitch went high when saying this word. Now, let's say it in a sentence. กินไข่ต้มกับป๋า I eat boiled eggs with my dad. The last word and syllable of this sentence is in high tone. You can hear that it's the only word in this sentence that has a high pitch without a falling tone. Some more examples include ร้านค้าจัดโต๊ะแจกน้ำ This shop is preparing a table to give away some water. น้องขี่ม้า My brother rides a horse. See the difference? In this sentence, the second word is in low tone, while the rest are in high tone. Pretty simple, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read rising tone or เสียงจัตวา in Thai? Rising tone is the fifth and the last of Thai tones. In Thai, we call this tone เสียงจัตวา Similar to falling tone, this tone contains both low and high pitch. Let's begin learning about this tone and how we can say this tone perfectly. Rising tone usually uses ไม้จัตวา as a remark on Thai words. In transliteration, we use this mark to suggest the tone, as opposed to falling tone. In rising tone, the pitch goes down first and then goes up. Take, for example, the Thai name จ๋า You can hear that my pitch went down slightly and then up when pronouncing this word. To clarify further, I'll now put this tone in the same sentence as our previous lessons. ฉันกินไข่ต้มกับป๋า I eat boiled eggs with my dad. The truth is, this sentence contains all 5 tones of Thai. Can you recognize which words is in rising tone? The answer is the word ฉัน Let me say this sentence again slowly. ฉันกินไข่ต้มกับป๋า I eat boiled eggs with my dad. You can see that every word in this sentence has different sounds. The word ฉัน is pronounced first at a lower pitch than accents. To perfect this tone, think about when you ask a question in English. This tone is quite similar to that. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I read rising tone or เสียงจัตวา in Thai? Rising tone is the fifth and the last of Thai tones. In Thai, we call this tone เสียงจัตวา Similar to falling tone, this tone contains both low and high pitch. Let's begin learning about this tone and how we can say this tone perfectly. Rising tone usually uses ไม้จัตวา as a remark on Thai words. In transliteration, we use this mark to suggest the tone, as opposed to falling tone. In rising tone, the pitch goes down first and then goes up. Take, for example, the Thai name จ๋า You can hear that my pitch went down slightly and then up when pronouncing this word. To clarify further, I'll now put this tone in the same sentence as our previous lessons. ฉันกินไข่ต้มกับป๋า I eat boiled eggs with my dad. The truth is, this sentence contains all 5 tones of Thai. Can you recognize which words is in rising tone? The answer is the word ฉัน Let me say this sentence again slowly ฉันกินไข่ต้มกับป๊า I eat boiled eggs with my dad. You can see that every word in this sentence has different sounds. The word ฉัน is pronounced first at a lower pitch than accents. To perfect this tone, think about when you ask a question in English. This tone is quite similar to that. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I use นะ in Thai sentences? If you have some Thai friends, you might have heard the word นะ in conversation. This is usually used informally among Thais to make the sentence more gentle and polite. It's less polite than ครับ or ค่ะ. That's why it's used informally. So what does this word mean? In fact, there are various meanings of this word, which can be applied to many sentences, including requests, warnings, or even questions. Let's learn about these different usages in Thai sentences. นะ in a warning helps make the sentence a lot softer. For example, an angry teacher might say, โอกาสสุดท้ายแล้ว This is your last chance, to a naughty student. This sentence doesn't contain นะ which makes it sound like a strong demand. Compare that with โอกาสสุดท้ายแล้วนะ This is your last chance. The sentence becomes a lot softer and gentler, suggesting the speaker has a feeling of care towards the listener. Here's another example. ซื้อมือถือให้หน่อยนะ Buy a mobile phone for me, please. This is similar to adding please to a sentence in English, so this word can be used in requests as well. One more example. รอสักครู่นะคะ Please wait a moment. นะ makes the request to wait sound more polite. Another use of นะ is in question form. In this form, นะ means again. For instance, เธอไปไหนนะ Where are you going again? This form of นะ is used when someone needs the answer to be repeated. Another sentence you might have also encountered from a Thai person is อะไรนะ Similar to pardon? Can you repeat again? This is one of the most common phrases that uses นะ in the format of question. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I use ก็ in Thai sentences? ก็ is a word that's used informally in Thai. There are various meanings to this word. It can be used in almost any conversational situation. Most of the time, it's a connection word, mainly used to further explain things and to mean them. Let's begin to explore the usage of this word in Thai sentences so you can master it. One simple usage of ก็ is to use it to say then. It's a connection word in a sentence, just like the word then in English. For instance, ฉันจะไปห้างแล้วก็ไปร้านทำผมต่อ I am going to the mall and then to the salon. This form of ก็ is usually used with the word แล้ว which by itself means already. When แล้ว combined with ก็ the meaning of the phrase changes to and then. Here are some more examples. เรากินข้าวแล้วก็ดูหนังต่อI'm eating and then watching a movie later. กวาดบ้านแล้วก็ถูบ้าน Sweep the floor and then mop the floor. We also use ก็ to help clarify our explanations. This can be used to reply to a why question. For example, somebody asked ทำไมถึงทำแบบนี้ Why did you do this? In response, the other speaker says ก็เขามาทำก่อน cause he did it first. When replying to a why question, ก็ is used at the beginning of the sentence. The most common meaning to English is probably cause, the short form of because. ก็ is the shortened form of ก็เพราะว่า equivalent to because. In an informal sentence, we only use ก็ at the beginning of the sentence to say because. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what are 5 commonly used Thai idioms? Thai idioms can help you expand your knowledge of not only the language, but also of Thai culture. Most of the Thai idioms derive from natural and cultural references, which are quite interesting. There are lots of Thai idioms, but today we will explore 5 idioms that can be used or heard on a daily basis. Let's begin with the first one, สมน้ำหน้า or literal meaning, serve your face. This is commonly used when, for example, you notice someone cheated on a test and he or she gets caught. You might say สมน้ำหน้า to the cheater. The closest meaning is you get what you deserved. The second idiom I'll teach you is ง่ายเหมือนปอกกล้วยเข้าปาก easy as peeling a banana. The closest English idiom in meaning is easy as pie. In Thai, we use peeling a banana instead, as bananas are a local fruit. We can say this, for example, if you took a test and found it easy. You'd say ข้อสอบง่ายเหมือนปอกกล้วยเข้าปาก The test was very easy. The third idiom is ดินพอกหางหมู Literal meaning, dirt covering pig's tail. This idiom is used to describe someone who likes to procrastinate and build up more and more work along the way, so that in the end, it's hard for them to accomplish the task. We compare this behavior to pigs, as a pig will roll around in the mud all day long and build up so much mud on its tail that in the end, the pig can't move its tail. We would use this phrase if, for example, you have multiple assignments due on the same day, but you play games instead of doing them. Your mom might come and say that your assignment could become ดินพอกหางหมู if you don't complete them. The fourth idiom I'll teach you is ปิดทองหลังพระ Literal meaning, putting gold sheets at the back of monk statues. This idiom describes someone who does good deeds without announcing them to the world. In order for Buddhist monk statues to be completed, golden sheets are put all over the statues. Most people will put golden sheets at the front of the statue. If someone puts it at the back of the statue, it means that they do not seek to get attention for doing good deeds, as people rarely check the back of the statue. A possible situation in which you would use this idiom would be when an employee continues to help on a project from behind the scenes and without getting any credit for it. He or she is someone who is ปิดทองหลังพระ The last Thai idiom of this lesson is เข็นครกขึ้นภูเขา Literal meaning, rolling a mortar up the mountain. It describes someone who is underqualified for tasks. When you do tasks that are harder than what you can handle, it's like rolling a mortar because it's a heavy and big object and rolling it up into steep mountains is a difficult task. Pretty interesting, right? Do you know any other Thai idioms? Let us know in the comments below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what is the difference between คะ and ค่ะ As you may already know, ครับ and ค่ะ are used after sentences to add politeness. In this lesson, We'll focus only on the female version, ค่ะ In Thai writing and speaking, there are two tones and spelling of this word. Depending on the tone, we use the word differently. It's very simple and easy to understand, so let's begin. The first tone and spelling of this word is ค่ะ with high tone. This is used when you want to ask questions and to address someone formally. This includes not only when you say the question out loud, but also in writing. This is only valid for female speakers. I'll give you some examples. ค่ะ can be used in sentences like อะไรนะคะ Pardon? ไปไหนคะ Where are you going? Or when calling someone formally like คุณคะ You คุณครูคะ Professor. This is extremely important in writing as if used wrongly, the reader might presume that you are not competent in the language. Now moving on to the second tone and spelling of the word, which is ค่ะ with falling tone. This is the most general and basic form of the word. Again, this is only valid for female speakers. ค่ะ is used in general sentences such as answering something or agreeing to something. For example, สวัสดีค่ะ Hello. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you. You might use it when agreeing like ได้ค่ะ Yes, sure. ใช่ค่ะ Yes. Notice how I said the tone is quite different from the word used to ask questions. ค่ะ Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I say different months in Thai? The main benefit of how months are named in Thai is that the endings of the names will actually help you remember how many days are in the month. We'll go through this system in this lesson, so let's get started. The 12 months in Thai are มกราคม January กุมภาพันธ์ February มีนาคม March เมษายน April พฤษภาคม May มิถุนายน June กรกฎาคม July สิงหาคม August กันยายน September ตุลาคม October พฤศจิกายน November and ธันวาคม December. Notice how the months end with ยน คม or พัน This was done on purpose. We use this to suggest the number of days in the month. If the month ends with ยน then the month has 30 days. If it ends with คม, it's 31 days. And lastly, พัน is for February alone and is a unique month with less than 30 days. In short form or informally, we can cut out ยน คม or พัน For example, December can be said with just ธันวา สิงหา means August. People will still know what you mean as the main purpose of these endings is to identify the number of days in that month. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, does ไม่ได้ mean cannot or did not? ไม่ is a Thai word for no and is a negative word. ได้ on the other hand, means both can and already in English. When these two individual words are combined to make ไม่ได้ it creates two similar meanings for the word when put in sentences. So, does this word mean cannot or did not? There's an easy and simple way for you to notice and understand. First, the word ไม่ได้ means cannot when put at the end of sentences or after the verb in sentences. Take, for example, ฉันไปดูหนังไม่ได้ I cannot go to the movies. As you can see here, the verb in this sentence is ไปดูหนัง. If we put ไม่ได้ after the verb, then the meaning becomes cannot. Now, let's take a look at the meaning of ไม่ได้ as a past tense form. If we put ไม่ได้ before the verb in sentences, the meaning automatically changes to did not. For example, ฉันไม่ได้ไปดูหนัง means I did not go to the movies. As you can see, the meaning shifted completely compared to ฉันไปดูหนังไม่ได้ I cannot go to the movies. Remember, we put ไม่ได้ before the verb to mean did not, and we put ไม่ได้ after the verb to mean cannot. Pretty simple, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, does ไม่ได้ mean cannot or did not? ไม่ is a Thai word for no and is a negative word. ได้ on the other hand, means both can and already in English. When these two individual words are combined to make ไม่ได้ it creates two similar meanings for the word when put in sentences. So, does this word mean cannot or did not? There's an easy and simple way for you to notice and understand. First, the word ไม่ได้ means cannot when put at the end of sentences or after the verb in sentences. Take, for example, ฉันไปดูหนังไม่ได้ I cannot go to the movies. As you can see here, the verb in this sentence is ไปดูหนัง. If we put ไม่ได้ after the verb, then the meaning becomes cannot. Now, let's take a look at the meaning of ไม่ได้ as a past tense form. If we put ไม่ได้ before the verb in sentences, the meaning automatically changes to did not. For example, ฉันไม่ได้ไปดูหนัง means I did not go to the movies. As you can see, the meaning shifted completely compared to ฉันไปดูหนังไม่ได้ I cannot go to the movies. Remember, we put ไม่ได้ before the verb to mean did not, and we put ไม่ได้ after the verb to mean cannot. Pretty simple, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some of Thai's conjunction words? Conjunction words are used in Thai sentences to connect ideas or thoughts. These words will help you make longer sentences, so let's learn them. The basic conjunction words in Thai include แต่ but และ and หรือ or ดังนั้น therefore and เพราะว่า because. They are put between sentences or ideas, just like in English. The first Thai conjunction we'll talk about is but. In Thai, it is แต่ It is used almost the same as in English. For example, ฉันกินได้แต่ไม่อยาก I can eat, but I don't want to. You can see here that the word แต่ is put between two opposite ideas. The second conjunction word is และ or and in English. This is used in an almost identical way to the English word as well. For example, ฉันชอบกินกล้วยและส้ม I like eating bananas and oranges. It usually connects two similar ideas together. Or, which is หรือ in Thai, is used the same as and. It's placed between two similar ideas or sentences. For example, เธอจะกินกล้วยหรือส้ม Do you want bananas or oranges? To conclude a sentence in Thai, we say ดังนั้น therefore. For example, ฉันไม่กินข้าวดังนั้นฉันเลยหิว I did not eat therefore I'm hungry and lastly because in Thai is เพราะว่า for example ฉันกินกล้วยเพราะว่ามันอร่อย I eat bananas because they are delicious. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I say the days of the week and their colors in Thai? Thailand is one of the few countries that has specific colors corresponding to the days of the week. Let's begin learning the days and their colors. First, the word day in Thai is 1. We put this in front of each day. วันจันทร์ Monday วันอังคาร Tuesday วันพุธ Wednesday วันพฤหัสบดี Thursday วันศุกร์ Friday วันเสาร์ Saturday วันอาทิตย์ Sunday. Color in Thai is สี like the days of the week. We put this word in front of the color names when talking about them. And now, the colors of the days are วันจันทร์ Monday is represented by สีเหลือง yellow. วันอังคาร Tuesday is represented by สีชมพู pink. วันพุธ Wednesday is represented by สีเขียว or green. วันพฤหัสบดี Thursday is represented by สีส้ม orange. วันศุกร์ Friday is represented by สีฟ้า or light blue. วันเสาร์ Saturday is represented by สีม่วง purple. And วันอาทิตย์ Sunday is represented by สีแดง or red. Now, I know you have many questions. One might be, are the colors assigned randomly? The answer is no. Colors for the days of the week derive from Thai astrology. The color is based on the god who protects that particular day of the week. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I use Thai quantifiers? To begin with, let me first tell you about Thai nouns. In Thai, most of the time, nouns don't have singular or plural forms. To allow us to identify the amount, we quantify almost everything. The equivalent of this in English is asking for 3 glasses of wine rather than just wine. The difference is in Thai, we use it on every noun. In this lesson, I'll introduce some of the quantifier for everyday objects. We put quantifiers in after we set the amount of the object. The pattern follows this format. Noun plus amount or number plus quantifier. The most standard quantifier which you can use with most nouns is an. You can use it when you don't know the specific quantifier for a noun. For example, มีด1 อัน one knife. Other quantifiers include แท่ง used with pencils, ใบ used with pillows, leaves, glasses, cups, bowls, dishes. ด้าม used with pens. Some that are used with liquids, foods, and grains are แก้ว and ขวด and so on. Following the format noun plus amount or number plus quantifier, here are some example sentences. ฉันมีดินสอ1 แท่ง I have 1 pencil. ผมขอหมอน2 ใบ I would like 2 pillows. นม4 แก้ว 4 glasses of milk. You can see that All the nouns are quantified in these sample sentences, and the quantifier is used after specifying the amount of the noun. If you don't know which quantifier to use, stick with un. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some Thai exclamation and interjection words? Thai exclamation and interjection words are quite unique and different compared to English. We have various exclamations and interjections to express emotions. Today, I'll teach you some of the most used among Thais, so you can improve your Thai speech and sound more natural. Let's begin with the first one, which is best translated to "Oh my God" in English. In Thai, we say "Oh ho." This is to show emotions of surprise and amazement. For example, "Oh ho อร่อยจัง Oh my God, this is very delicious." In a negative context, such as when complaining or insulting someone, you might also use this exclamation. For example, "โอ้โหทำมาได้ไง Oh my God, how could you do that?" The next exclamation is อ้าว This also shows surprise, but with a different meaning as compared to โอ้โห อ้าว is used in unexpected surprises or at a turn of event. For example, อ้าว ใครมาที่บ้านเนี่ย Wow, who's coming to my house? You might use this term on a Sunday when you hope to stay home with no disturbances from anyone and someone unexpectedly rings your doorbell. The most similar meaning to English is wow. Now, this next one is not an expression for surprise, but to express understanding or realization. This is aw. This helps express that you understand what the other person is saying. For example, อ๋อ ทำแบบนี้เอง you do it like this. The most similar meaning expression in English is You can use อ๋อ alone to mean you are listening and following what the other person is saying. And the last one I'll teach you is This sounds quite similar to in English, but it has a completely different meaning. The meaning of in Thai is to agree, similar to saying yeah. For example, someone asks if you want to eat fried rice. You can respond ก็ได้ yeah, sure. Just like อ๋อ alone can also mean that you are agreeing or following what the other person is saying. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, does Thai have a past tense? Probably the main challenge of Thai language is that Thai's past tense is quite ambiguous. In fact, there's no difference between past and present tense in Thai. In this lesson, we'll learn how to address the past in Thai sentences. To address the past and to distinguish it from the present tense, we use adverbs of time, either at the beginning or end of the sentence. Adverbs of time include เมื่อวาน yesterday, เมื่อวันจันทร์ last Monday, ปีที่แล้ว last year, เดือนที่แล้ว last month, and วันก่อน the day before yesterday. Let's see some examples that show how we can put this either at the beginning or the end of the sentence. For example, ฉันไปอเมริกาปีที่แล้ว I went to America last year. In present tense, it's simply ฉันไปอเมริกา I go to America. We can also put adverbs of time at the beginning of the sentence. For example, เมื่อวานไปตลาดมา I went to the market yesterday. The sentence ไปตลาด I go to the market is in present form only because there are no adverbs of time. So, if you want to tell someone you did something in the past, you can make sentences like you would with present tense, but add an adverb of time. This way, they will know you are talking about a past action. Pretty simple, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I make a request or give a command in Thai? There are various words to choose from when we want to request or command something in Thai. In both request and command sentences, however, the subject you is usually left out. I'll explain more in a few seconds. For now, let's go ahead and begin. Let's start by making a command in Thai. To form a command sentence, you can use the word จง in front of the sentence. The subject you is not used when forming this type of sentence, and จง is mostly used in writing. Let's look at an example. จงเติมคำ fill in the blanks. This would most likely be a written command. When giving a command, there are other words which gives some urgency to the command. Let's go over some. ต้อง must or need, or ห้าม do not or to forbid. One thing different about the usage of ต้อง is that it can be used with a subject noun. For example, เธอต้องไปโรงเรียน you must go to school. ห้าม on the other hand, must be used without a subject noun and when you forbid actions. For example, ห้ามผ่าน do not pass. A more formal way of requesting something is to use the word กรุณา. This is like saying please in English. You need to leave out the subject noun when using this word. For example, กรุณาถอดรองเท้า Please take your shoes off. Here's a tip to make your sentences more polite. Remember that you can always add ครับ or ค่ะ at the end of your request or command sentence. For example, กรุณารอสักครู่ค่ะ Please wait a moment. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ Hi everybody, Jay here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Thai questions. The question for this lesson is, how do I use เลย in Thai sentences? The word เลย has various meanings in Thai and is used differently depending on the context of the sentence. Today, we'll learn about its meanings and how you can use them in sentences and everyday conversations. The first use of เลย is for emphasis in a statement sentence. This is when you want to exaggerate one part of your sentence. For instance, ไม่มีเลย I don't have any. Or in proper sentence, หมาไม่กินข้าวเลย The dog is not eating anything. This is put at the end of a statement to make the sentence sound more extreme and to put stress on the action of not eating. Compare this to หมาไม่กินข้าว The dog is not eating, which is a plain statement without any stress on the action. Another use of the word is to mean further or beyond. This is usually when you are asking or giving directions. For example, someone asked, ห้องน้ำอยู่ที่ไหน Where is the toilet? The answer might be เลยร้านนี้ไป It's further down this shop. Notice how we put เลย at the beginning and before the noun ร้านนี้ This changed the meaning of the word to mean further or beyond contextually. When using this เลย is always followed by a noun or place. The noun doesn't necessarily have to be at the beginning of the sentence. For example, ขับรถเลยทางออก I drive past the road exit. The last use of เลย is to use it as a result of something. Let me clarify. เลย can be used as a conjunction word. For example, ร้านทำผมปิด ฉันเลยไปตลาดแทน The salon was closed, so I went to the market instead. Now, in this sentence, เลย is put in between two statements to mean as a result of something. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะ